Yeah.
And he walked to the door, closed it, came back, opened the drawer. One of these like not HDMI, those AV
with the
cords,
3 colors.
The 3 colors. I remember it so vividly. And I was running on the bed. It was a relay. I was running.
You were running on the
I was.
Well, the original idea behind this podcast was just like to essentially give our opinion as 3 Nigerian-Americans.
Not to vent, because I guess that's part of the stereotype.
Yeah, it's not a vent session. It's more so just our opinion and our experiences on what life kind of looks like for us now, travailing through being Nigerian-Americans, growing up in...
Travailing.
You know what? Big
words.
Travailing. Next word, gaga. But
You people are not serious. You people are really not serious.
But just navigating what it looks like as 3 black men, 3 Nigerian-Americans, navigating through the world of what it looks like to not just be a man, but to essentially struggle with figuring out who we are as people and how that relates to tradition and how that relates to our lives now. Because I can speak for myself. There are a lot of things that I'm currently fighting with some of my family about that I just don't agree with, you know? Like,
you just said be a man, and it reminds me of that guy on TikTok.
Which guy on TikTok?
He just comes on and says, he says shit like, start a podcast, be toxic, be a man.
Traumatized by something? Don't go to therapy. Drink every day. Be a man.
I definitely need to put a few of those videos.
Be toxic. Be a man. But no, like, yeah, like for real. I want to say like it's not. It's not really a vent session or a vent space. It's just us talking about our experiences as Nigerian-American men. And I feel like I've said Nigerian-American like 6 times already.
It's too much.
But it's just kind of like...
pressure is getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Hey, God.
Wow. The pressure is getting worse.
But it's just kind of what we're going through because we're living a life where a lot of things don't really sit right with us anymore, or at least I can speak for myself, and just figuring that out.
That puts us in trouble.
I mean, look, you know me, I'm always the rebel. Everyone thinks I'm the rebel because I don't think like everybody, or think like most Nigerians would expect me to think.
But speaking of being a man, what does that mean to you? Being, obviously, like you said, Nigerian-American, immigrants, your experience so far.
Being a man can have many connotations. The first thing that comes to mind, and this isn't what really if you boil down a man to his molecules, this is not it. There's going to be multiple things. There's going to be multiple parts that make up what a man is. But the first thing that comes to my mind is just someone that realizes the responsibility that they have upon themselves. Responsibility is the first thing, in my opinion, that makes you a man. Not to say that a woman can also have responsibilities.
That doesn't necessarily boil down to...
That's why I say
these days.
But that's why I say it's not the only molecule that when you boil a man down, it's not the only molecule you get. It's just one of them.
I get it.
And that's one of the that's one of the things that is expected of you from society as a man. Where sometimes you might, and don't take this any way, you might sometimes... When you see a lady do something wrong, you might give her a little bit of a pass out of it, because
isn't that a double standard?
It definitely is.
It's a very big double standard.
Let's be real. We live in a society where we have standards, in either positive standards or negative standards. But that's the expectation of a man,
right?
Even just asking that question, that what makes you a man, you're only going to find double standards. 90% of the things that we come up with are going to be double standards, because who's to say that a woman can't do any of those things? But we're just talking about what are the expectations that you do find to call yourself a man, or for someone to call you a man. And there are things like that's responsibility. That's what did I even say? I don't know.
You don't talk yourself into a corner. So what do you think constitutes a good man?
A good man.
Someone that takes care of his responsibilities. That's-
Okay.
But
whether
then
those
how
responsibility or-
how can you be responsible? What's man? Good man, right?
Right.
Man is responsible,
Right.
or has responsibilities. Let's clarify. Because there's difference between being responsible and having responsibilities.
When trying to define what a man is, I would say taking care of your responsibilities. If you're not taking care of your if you're thinking about society in general, if you say that, oh, he's not a real man, it's because he's not taking care of his responsibilities. He's not doing what he needs to do for his family, his children, his significant other. He's not being a man.
But that's all optics, though, that if you're going that way, because at the end of the day, you're judging what you feel like he should be based on what you feel like a man is.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily fair, because to him, he could be handling his responsibilities to the best of his ability.
But don't you think it's all optics anyway?
I think everything is
It
optics.
is all optics anyway.
I think everything is optics. And this is, God, I keep referring to a lot of things Courtney tells me, but like they are very, very prevalent in my life recently. It's just the fact of like, stop focusing on being good, because being good isn't always being right. If that makes sense at all.
True.
Because sometimes being a good man means telling somebody that you care about no. Being a good man sometimes means turning things down that you really don't have the bandwidth for, which I struggle with. Sometimes, especially because of the people I care about, and because naturally one of my gifts is just being a kind-hearted person. It's hard for me to tell people I care about no. But sometimes
You have a problem saying no?
Oh, I have a huge problem saying no. I have a huge problem saying no.
I love saying no.
I have the worst problem saying no.
I love saying no.
He knows this.
I think. Well, that's even. Let's go.
Let's come back.
Listen, that's a big segue.
Let's come back.
Don't you think that a large part of that? Are you a first child?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect example. This goes into the question of what are some of the struggles that you went through as growing up in a Nigerian household. I think that our parents raised first children specifically to be pseudo parents.
That's, in my personal experience, that's semi-true.
Why would you say semi-true?
Semi-true because, again, my experience, and I was responsible for my siblings. But up until, let me say, like 4 years ago, I wasn't responsible for how they acted and what they were doing. I was responsible for making sure they were good. You know where they are. They're not in trouble. They're not lost. Good, cool. There was an auntie in the house. There was a maid in the house. There was this and that. You know, growing up in Nigeria, at least to that point. So I was responsible for being a good example. That was probably the biggest thing that my parents would try to drill. You have to be a good example. You have to. Your siblings are looking at you. You have to do this. You have to do that.
But do you think that ever stopped your siblings from doing what they wanted to do?
Oh, absolutely not.
So, like, this is my point of it brings the first, and this might just be my own personal experience, but I think a lot of firstborn children lose out on their childhoods because their parents force them to grow up so quickly.
It's funny because I tell my parents that sometimes. Like, you know, they use me as an experiment, and then my siblings are doing whatever they like.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's, again, optics, perspective.
You want to talk?
Me and my
You want to talk?
We went to go pick up my little brother from Boston,
Yeah.
where he had his internship, and me and my dad and him just spent like a whole 12-hour drive just talking. This actually one of the first times the three of us actually sat down, especially me and my brother actually sat down with him and just said things. You know, what we were feeling, we were thinking. I mean, yes, we still filtered because we know the kind of father we have.
Because if you tell them the truth, sometimes the truth
So you have to
is disrespectful.
You have to sugarcoat the truth. So one time we were talking about that situation where I felt personally,
Respectfully.
respectfully, that my little brother wasn't getting the beatings that I was getting.
Oh, that's fact.
That's true.
So I took it into my own fucking hands. I whooped that nigga.
Wow.
So after I whooped him, they came and told me that I couldn't whoop him. But I was like,
Why?
when I did this, what did I get?
See, I agree, and I regret. I'll actually tell this. I told this to my brother recently. Fair is fair. My little brother is like huge now, but when he was little, I was responsible for his discipline, and I don't think I liked that. I don't think that was fair.
You didn't enjoy beating him?
I didn't enjoy it at the time. I didn't at all. I think that was extremely unfair to expect your child to then discipline another child when you're his parent.
I think, well, speaking about firstborns being pseudo parents, I think it applies more. It's more effective with female firstborns. They're more nurturing anyway, so they naturally, or more naturally, I should say, fit into that frame that they want. It's a little different or harder for the first male child or the firstborn that's a guy to do that more naturally. It's more disciplining,
Yeah.
You beat them because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Well, it's for women or for girls that are firstborns, it's more, taking care of you. You've eaten, you're clean, you're ready for school, you're blah blah blah.
Do you think those beatings that you got made you who you are now?
Oh, I mean, mine that I am because of those beatings. Those beatings changed. Oh my
Man's
God.
man.
I mean, in fact, if I show you the scars,
Oh, scars!
my
You have
goodness.
scars still.
there's one particular whooping. I can't. There's nothing that can make me forget that. Oh God.
They can still call CPS or your father.
I'm
Your carry from
feeling
Nigeria.
the PTSD right now. No. Honestly, there's been many beatings, but there's one that is it's scratched into my memory. You can't, and there's always that one.
I think
I'm
everybody
sure you
has.
have that
I
one.
have one, but since we're talking, so give
No,
your
give your own.
beating story, and we'll give
Should
our
I
own.
give my own first, or do you want to give your own first?
Give yours,
my own.
give yours
My own
first.
it just pains me. It really
It's the
pains
fact
me.
that you're scratching your back.
You can feel it right now.
No, because truthfully, it wasn't even a beating. It was a straight up sock. It was a straight up right
Was
hook.
it your mom or your dad?
It was my mom didn't really beat me.
Oh, okay.
It was a straight up right
see
hook,
that,
but the right hook came because he beat me first, and I looked him in his eyes.
How dare you?
Oh, you want to fight me? You want to beat me?
I looked him in his.
You want to beat me?
I hope he doesn't see this episode. But
Don't worry, he has spies everywhere to find his way
oh
to
my
him.
Lord, his spies. But it was because he went into my room and he saw my Facebook page open, and I was actually rejecting a girl. I was saying no to a girl. I was doing what he told me to do. But because I was in the position of women wanting to talk to me, somehow it was my fault.
Your fault.
So he
your
gave me
fault.
batty. Bah! I looked at him. No tear, no nothing. He said, bossa. I looked at him again. Until that man he took my phone, he took everything, locked it up. He went into his room. They were still talking. That's when I sat down and said, little small tear.
Thugged
Little
him.
small tear.
Thugged him.
But that it was it's funny because it wasn't just a tear of pain that I got beaten. It was a tear of happiness because I stood up for myself for the first time and looked him in his eyes and didn't say anything.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 15, 16.
Oh, that was old. Mine was much younger.
Oh, when you looked your papa in the eye.
I didn't look at him in the eye, but
Oh,
that
okay.
whooping. No, that whooping. No.
Okay, what's your own whooping?
I was probably about, I want to say like 7, 8, maybe.
Wow.
And there's a little backstory. So we were at church. It was a church evening program.
That's where it always starts.
And yeah. And anyway, we were there, and it's kind of like where we, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was out and about. They were in the hall at the time. But has changed a lot now. At the time, the windows are circular, but they were open, so you could literally jump out the window and in. So I went out the window and I'm chilling. One of these uncles in church, as per usual. Hey, how are you? Blah blah blah. Let me buy you cake. If you know me, you know that I cannot resist cake. Unfortunately,
This guy's a vacuum cleaner, bro. Like, this man came to
He
our
has a
house.
very big sweet tooth.
He
yeah.
cleared the whole fridge.
Yeah.
Me, I have pot belly. Look at him, nothing there. I
puffy
eat
shirt.
1/4 what this guy eats in a day.
It's
I don't
always the skinny
understand.
people that like don't gain
You know
weight.
what? You
Don't-
deserve
But they
to be
eat
seen.
more.
You deserve to be
Don't
seen.
hit on the blessed. Don't hit.
Don't hit on the
Don't hit
blessed.
on the blessed.
Hey bastard. Hey bastard.
But so he got me the little cake, and I didn't eat it at that. I
Wait.
took it to my-
Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
We already know it's a cardinal sin that you've already committed.
Oh, at this point.
Yeah.
You went
There was
out
more.
of church
Oh yeah.
to go and buy a cake for somebody that. Well, first of all,
No.
you went out of church.
That's
I
one.
want.
You were sitting on the windowsill for somebody to see you.
No, two.
No, but you went with somebody that's not a sanctioned
A sanctioned-
family member for them to go and buy you something.
That's 3 and 4.
You went and then took the soft.
And I brought it
I
back.
brought it back.
That's 5.
Okay,
That's
continue.
Now,
Did
7.
you eat it
And then
before
you
the?
ate-
Oh yes. Oh,
You are
I slopped on that cake in front of
You
her.
are asking for trouble. You are asking for trouble.
You know
for
the
it.
part that pained me the most is that this happened in front of my mom, and she went to go and cast me.
Oh, that's
And
the.
in the car going home, she casted me.
Snitch.
Snitched on me. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's done. I ate the cake. I'm
Are
sweet.
you going to beat me?
I'm sweet. I'm good. We go home. I don't know, for whatever reason, I went to my dad's room while he was changing. I think I went to get something, or I don't know.
So
While the belt was close.
Why the belt was already?
It's funny that people assume it's a belt.
Oh,
It was a wire.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he walked to the door, closed it, came back, opened the drawer. One of these, like, not HDMI, those AV
With the
cords.
3 colors.
The 3 colors. I remember it so vividly. And I was running on the bed. It was a relay. I was running.
You were already on your
I
own.
was turning on his own. I don't know how I got out of the room, but somehow I busted out of the room, and right out as you get out of the room is the stairs. I did not climb the stairs.
He jumped.
I flew on the stairs. I got down and I fell. This man did not stop. He followed me downstairs. He followed me downstairs and wanted to finish me. My mom and I had to come and beg. No. I said, why are you casting? Why are you
Yeah,
not coming
it's
to
your
beg?
fault.
Why are you
Yeah,
coming to
yeah,
beg? They should not
you
kill
see
your
what
first
you
child.
cost.
Can you imagine?
You see?
Yo, up to today, and I'll tell him that story whenever I see him again. Like, why are you wicked? Why are you wicked? Did you not, as your big age,
At
the
your
time,
age.
a small child.
That's what for the funny thing is, my dad wasn't the disciplinarian. My mom was.
Oh.
My mom, if you ever met her, I call her Big Glow now, but my mom was huge and solid too. Grew up with all boys. So she had a bunch of other sisters, but like she grew up with her and her brothers. For those who don't know, my grandfather had 4 wives. So do with that what you want. But she grew up with all boys. You know another cardinal sin that your parents tell you not to do when they leave the house. They sit you all down. Don't open the door for anybody. As the oldest, I said, okay, I think I was like at either 9 or 10 at this point. Sitting in the house, somebody knocking the door while watching Simpsons in the house. Somebody knocks the door. I'm like, okay, cool. I go out to the door. It's our landlord. Oh, it's our landlord.
Landlord.
Could be something. Open the door. I told her, oh, my mom is not here. Is there anything I can do for you? Even worse. Here's the painful thing. So if you've watched what's this movie? Cheaper by the Dozen. There's a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen, and the guy like makes this joke where it's like, hey y'all, what's the deal y'all? And our landlord's name was Mr. Dillon. So we used to call him, hey, where's Mr. Dilly y'all? So my mom walks in as our landlord is standing at the door with me in the doorway talking to him. First offense, I've opened the door.
Disobedience.
Disobedience. Second offense. And I told her, I said, hey mom, Mr. Dilly y'all's here.
The audacity.
The audacity of me then exposing what we used to talk about in the house in front of her. I said, oh yeah, that's the name we used to call him when he's not here. Me as a kid, I don't know what's going on. I'm just talking. He left. Everybody went to sleep. Hey, Jiro, come downstairs. Came downstairs.
You're in trouble.
As I walk, because we used to have this long staircase, you make a left, and then you're in the living room. So I would come downstairs, make a left, go into the living room. I heard the door shut behind me.
Look at that trap.
Like, as in, she was behind the door. I walked downstairs. She shut the door behind me. She was like, I kneel down. When I tell you that woman she beat the pee out of me. That night, I peed on myself.
No way.
She beat me till I peed on myself. And then after I peed on myself and I went upstairs to go and sleep, the next morning she made me breakfast. So that's the last question. What is the way your parents apologize to you after beating you?
One thing I can say now, I hold this above you forever. Forever and ever. I never peed on myself.
I was 10 years old.
I don't
So what's
care.
your own? What's your own?
I don't care.
I
I
don't-
never peed on myself.
I did what I did. Will you fight me now?
No, but I'll hold it.
You can hold it. Don't worry. There are other stories to come.
Wedding story is there.
Wahoo.
Get ready.
But how did your parents apologize to you all after they beat you?
Them niggas ain't apologize.
I don't think they know the meaning of an apology.
Truthfully,
I'm not sure that
my mom never really punished me, truthfully. It was usually just my dad. My mom would just pass it on to him, and then I deal with the
So you guys had one parent that was and one parent that wasn't.
Yeah.
My
mom
mom
never-
enjoying no.
My mom never really...
Well, my dad would try, but I got to an age where I was bigger than him.
At that point,
So at that point, it was just like,
you say what you want to say.
I'm not going to say what we used to tussle sometimes. And once he realized that he wouldn't win, it was just.
I don't remember any situations, though, where it was like, oh, okay, we finished beating you now. Come on, get food.
Yeah, not like that. You go and you sulk and you lick your wounds. And
Yeah, and
somehow
then
there's food.
There's food there, or let's
something.
go and buy you ice cream, or.
If
never
I was
offered,
if
though.
I was truthfully getting punished,
Yeah.
my punishment lasted until the next day.
Wow.
I'll wake up the next day, and then maybe everybody's supposed
So
to
you
forget
cry and go
about
to
it.
sleep.
Basically, you forget. It just goes like it never happened.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question on top of that. Do you think that was okay? The level of beatings that we got.
You know, living through it, it's different because
Wait, are you beating your child?
man,
I will spank my child, but I'll never beat my child to the extent
See that
that.
What's
video?
the-
You see that
what's the
video? You
difference
see that
between
video you
spank
put
and
in the group chat where the kid destroyed the house?
Okay, that's a different story.
What's the difference between spank and beat?
Yeah,
I
fine.
think there's a difference between like spankings and whoopings versus the beatings we got.
That's
There's no
semantics.
reason we should have gotten beat with like extension wires.
Nah, we were beat up.
Okay,
That's-
beating is like someone used.
If I like pop a kid on the butt, I get that. But
Okay.
like they used slippers, they used wooden spoons. Really, it was anything they could get their
really
hands
anything,
on.
really anything.
And sometimes they would intentionally want to leave a mark.
Oh, story.
Gigi.
This is about my grandma, and God rest her soul. I love that woman to death.
Don't say but.
It's not a but.
Okay,
I
okay.
love my grandma to death. There was this instance, right? I can't remember what I did, but she wanted to beat me. I was a naughty boy. I did something. She wanted to beat me. And I don't remember what I did, but she was just looking for what she can use to beat me. She was in the kitchen.
Please don't tell me
don't-
she threw a plate at you.
She was in the kitchen cutting stuff. She was looking for what she can use. She picked up the knife. But she used the other side, the butt of the knife, to try and swap me with it, to like go away. Me, all I saw was knife.
Wow.
I said,
saw your
this
life
woman wants
pass
to kill me.
But I think that's what.
So wait, so you didn't finish, you didn't hear
Yay.
this. She wanted to beat me with the butt of the knife, but it was probably just gonna be just like a leave this place now,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But you saw a
all
knife.
I saw was knife, so I grabbed it. The next thing I hear,
Papa wants to kill me.
the next thing I hear, I was trying to beat grandma. I said, yeah. My mom came, my dad, that night. The pain and suffering. I said, this woman tried to kill me.
Were you able to explain that she grabbed a knife?
I don't think you have
They
it.
said, oh, do you think that your own grandma will kill you? I said, that's all I saw was
Was a
knife.
knife?
I
Yeah.
saw, I saw
But
red.
truthfully, though, do I really think that my own grandma would kill me? Probably not. But like, still,
I mean, in that moment, as a child, I don't think you think, oh, this woman actually wouldn't kill me. You just see knife.
You just said,
You see red. Let's go.
he's got
Let's
time.
go.
like I said, I don't think I'll ever beat my kids
Oh,
the
I
way
will.
that I got beat.
Maybe not the way I got beat, but I will.
They'll definitely get like spankings
yeah.
and whoopings once in a while, but I think it's probably going to be more so with my hand versus with.
I feel like if it's in my hand, it's be worse. Because I'm not slap. I'm not beating. I'm.
Adriel, you have to also remember all three of us. What are we?
What?
We're drummers.
Well, we are pretty heavy-handed.
Heavy-handed, heavy-footed.
So I don't know, man. I think it's just something. I think it's just something. I just know for a fact the extent that I got beat. I don't think I'll ever beat my kids with that. I think I gained more when I was actually talked to.
What about this? How badly do you think they would be at their?
Oh, I think they got I walked 4 miles to go to school. I think they're doing a lot of Nigerian parents, and unfortunately, this is something I had to come to realization in my own life. they're doing the best that they can with the information that they have.
That's that simple.
Is we give them the grace truthfully to be who they are, but that doesn't mean we should stop telling them where they're wrong.
Yeah.
That's where
And
I
then
draw
that
the
goes
line.
into a different topic. To you, they're wrong. They're in the right. To them.
In every single instance.
Yeah. So it's perspective. Right? It's the same thing we said.
I get what you're saying, but I think right is right and wrong is wrong. Doing the best with what you know, fine, you might feel that is right. But when you're presented with another set of information, that will then change your perspective. You can't even present your perspective to a lot of Nigerian parents.
That's fair.
So how are you able to then inform them that, hey, what you're going through is wrong? Perfect example. In this current age that you are now, right? 2 questions, actually. 1, to what level of conversation are you able to have with your parents? 1. And 2, do you think your parents actually know the real you?
Number 2, they don't know the real me. I think I know that for a fact. I've never felt like they've actually known the real me from time.
My point.
I mean, for me, I feel like my mom knows me, but there's always going to be things that you don't tell your parents about, including either your mom or your dad. And I feel like sometimes, especially you, Ejiro, you like to think that, oh, you should be yourself and that's how it should always be. Yes, you can feel that way.
Yeah.
But it's not even only just in our culture that we keep things away from our parents.
Yeah.
Akata people do it, Igbo people do it. People keep things away from their parents sometimes.
I get what you mean by there's. I think you're misunderstanding what I mean by being yourself. I understand that there are just some things you don't tell your parents, but there are just some aspects of who you are that sometimes you just hide from your parents because you're like, oh, they won't even understand this.
I think my mom knows exactly who I am.
Okay.
I would say that. I would say my mom.
I think
knows
my mom
exactly.
has a better idea of who I am now versus. I don't think my dad knows who I am at all.
Oh.
My dad doesn't know who I am.
Nah,
I don't think my dad knows who I am.
She still says stuff like, "Oh, but you're an outgoing person." Like, who is outgoing?
Yeah,
that's not me. No.
That's just.
But, yeah,
First of all, we've gone 24 minutes and didn't even do an intro.
thank God for that.
Well, first of all, hello everybody. Probably doing this at the end of the episode, but welcome to the 3/4. Welcome to the 3/4 podcast. I'm your boy Uncle Dan, aka Dr. God Daddy Dan, aka the Drummer Boy,
AKA Sloppy Joe.
Which one is Sloppy Joe?
What?
Wow. Pause.
Hey, you're naming yourself. I'm helping you. In this
I don't
process.
need your naming.
You
Wait,
don't
that
need
was
it?
your name for him.
Yeah, it's not mine. I have names for you too.
Wow.
I'll slap you.
Slop Top Daddy.
Wow. End the episode.
I'm leaving. I'm going.
End the
This
episode.
is my house. I'm gonna say I'm going.
Is this your toxic?
I was gonna say I'm going home.
toxic,
Get out.
Toxic. This is toxic masculinity.
I'm ending the episode there.
Toxic
Wow.
masculinity.
Wow.
This man said.
But
what?
yeah. So it's your boy, Uncle Danny, aka Uncle Dan, aka the Drummer Boy, aka Dr. God Daddy Dan. And to my right,
Call me Sean.
Uncle, speaking to your mic, Joe.
It's Sean. It's simple. It's Sean. It's just Sean.
And as I said last time in last episode, I'm just Manny. So don't give me any stupid blasted names before I slap you.
Don't worry. I will get back to my drawing board and get some juicy names for you.
I'll grab your thumb through that cast.
Leave the next time it's not gonna be here.